66 for 2. So Hong Kong just dragging things back. Just 17 runs have come. Their third wicket in quick succession. Not to be, however.
Dipendra Singh Irie unable to do much with that.
Dipendra Singh Irie unable to do much with that.
Yet again, the veteran on target. An appeal for caught behind, and yes, it's given. It looks like Irie did get some bat on that. He's not very happy. He's standing his ground. He walks off reluctantly. Another big wicket for Hong Kong. Another breakthrough. And the pendulum just swinging. There's the men in red and black as we look at this replay. It looks like it hit his glove, came off either his hip or his leg, and ballooned up to Scott McKechnie. And that brings Pawan Saraf to the crease. The required rate now in excess of 8.5 runs and over. And watchfully played, giving Ehsan the respect that he probably deserves. Nepal now 68 for 3 at the halfway point of their innings. Things not looking so comfortable for them now. A reminder that a loss here for Nepal will leave them with no choice but to win their last 2 games. One against the hosts, Nepal, and one on the final day against against Singapore. And I don't need to remind you what happened the last time Nepal and Singapore squared off in a winner-takes-all, do-or-die encounter. And straight to the covers. Yet another dot ball. And again, good work there in the covers. Aftab Hussain backing up Ehsan Khan really well in this over. His radar was slightly off in his first over, but taking corrective measures here. The required rate has now just nudged over 9 runs and over. Just slapped away off the back foot to the sweeper on the boundary, just a single. Gyanendra Malla now a lot resting on his shoulders. Watchfully eased into the covers. Gyanendra Malla now with a bit of a dilemma, whether he should rebuild or step on it. And that's a big shot from Pawan Saraf, and a chance here for Long On, who makes no mistake. Yet another wicket falls. Pawan Saraf this time, the man to succumb. Aftab Hussain with his first wicket. Things going from bad to worse here. From bad to worse for Nepal. Gyanendra Malla still out there. And Binod Bhandari now walking out to join his skipper. Nepal really cannot afford to lose this game. If they do succumb to the men in red and black, they will have to rely on other results to get through. At the start of the day, we were talking about their decision to put Hong Kong in, and how Hong Kong would not have been too dissatisfied with that. Hong Kong do prefer to get a total on the board and defend it. We saw them do that so well against Jersey and Canada in the T20 World Cup qualifiers, and they're doing it here again so far. Yet another appeal, very optimistic this time. Just a single there to Aftab at fine leg. Binod Bhandari, can he provide his skipper with some much needed support? Off his first. And that's an interesting, not quite a paddle there. It's premeditated. The ball wasn't as straight as he wanted to, but he was still able to get it down and beat short third man to his left. An important boundary there for Binod Bhandari, and an important boundary for Nepal. Ehsan Khan, interestingly, in his last over. So Azaz not choosing to hold him back. Just whipped off the legs this time, straight to mid-wicket. Once again, just worked away on the leg side. And that brings to an end Ehsan Khan's spell. 2 for 18. A big contribution there, including the wicket of Paras Katka, off a slightly controversial LBW that may have been sliding down leg, or it may have been clipping. In any case, as things stand, in the last 8 overs, up. And that's swept away. It's aerial. No issues, however. Kinchit Shah does the tidying up there at deep square leg. Mullah, however, would have had his heart in his mouth for a second. That's cut away. Unable to find the gap, though. Binod Bandari. And that's a big shot, but it's in the air. He hasn't quite connected. Nepal have now lost half their side. Binod Bandari tried to get a move on with the asking rate climbing. Just sort of lost his shape there. As we look at the replay, Aftab Hussain just dragging his length back, bowling it really wide as well. And he made Binod Bandari reach for it. Bandari not able to get it anywhere close to the middle of his bat, just skying an easy catch up to cover. Aftab Hussain has now chipped in with 2 wickets. A very impressive spell from him. Hong Kong spinners certainly bowling the right lengths on this track. We saw Nepal spinners on a few occasions just erring too straight. Sushan Bari especially was guilty of that. Arif Sheikh now at the crease. The required rate is now in excess of 10 runs and over. This won't be an easy proposition for Nepal. How quickly this innings has gone pear-shaped for them. Just 30 runs in the last 6.5 overs since the power play. Just a single to round off the over. Nepal now 80 for the loss of 5 at the end of 13. Hong Kong supporters will be wary of counting their chickens before they've hatched. Hong Kong in recent times have just struggled a little bit at the death. In that heartbreaking loss to Oman in the T20 World Cup qualifiers, they did leak 50 runs in the last 3 overs, as Jatinder Singh and Naseem Khushi on the day flayed it to all parts. And with the conclusion of Ehsan Khan's spell, a change of bowling, Kinchit Shah, who will be taking over. And he'll be going around the wicket to Arif Sheikh. Just tucked off the hips there, just a single. Brings Ganendra Malla back on strike. You get the feeling that it all rests on the skipper's shoulders here. Just a change of field. Looks like mid-wicket has been moved to a cover. And the cover fieldsman is in play straight away. The captain himself, Azaz Khan, unable to stop that single, however. That's flayed away on the offside. Deep cover has no trouble cutting that off. A 5-4 leg side field here for Kinchit Shah. It does not take a genius to guess his line of attack. He'll be looking to keep things tight and to tuck the batsman up. A top edge sweep there. The man at deep mid-wicket there, opting against going for the catch. And it would have been a tough one. So Ganendra Malla continues to struggle for timing post the power play. Just going on with the arm there from Kinchit. Still no boundary for Nepal. And right on cue, that pierces the gap between cover, deep cover, and Jamie Atkinson at long off. A much needed boundary there. They've got some power in the dugout as well. Karan KC still to come. Sandeep Lamijane as well can give it a whack. That just beats the cover fieldsman for a single. Aftab Hussain now into his final over. No boundaries off his bowling so far. He's kept things tight. Just a single as Aftab cleans up off his own bowling. Lightning quick work there from Scott McKechnie. Gyanendra Malla caught out of his crease, just reaching for the ball. Beautiful flight and guile there from Aftab Hussain, getting a little grip off the surface as well. And with Gyanendra Malla walking off the field, you feel like Nepal's chances are slowly evaporating. As we take a look at this replay, Aftab Hussain with his third wicket, coming in from wide of the crease, beautiful drift in and turn away from Gyanendra Malla, unable to do much with it. It looked like he was just trying to nudge it away for a single. All he managed to do was walk out of his crease as he walks off the field. And it's that man we were just speaking of, Karan KC. Can he pull off another miracle? The man responsible for Nepal's nickname as the Cardiac Kids walks to the middle. It's going to be a tough proposition, however. Nepal needing almost 2 runs a ball, with wickets falling left, right, and center. Aftab Hussain, with 3 wickets, has another 3 balls left in his spell. Can he add to his tally? Watchfully played there from Karan KC. Can't really afford to get his eye in, however. He's got to go for it. Long on, long off, both in place. An appeal there from Aftab Hussain. Hong Kong not happy with that. They felt like it had just straightened enough. Perhaps the umpire thinking it was just sliding down leg. Hong Kong, they looked convinced. And they're in search for blood. A slip in as well for Aftab Hussain. A straighter one. What a spell it's been from Aftab. 3 for 14 of his quota of 4 overs. Hong Kong spinners really coming to the party tonight. Or, well, not tonight. Get the feeling that they're getting out of hand for Nepal. Hong Kong, though, not taking anything for granted. Scott McKechnie and Kinchit Shah in deep discussions, along with skipper Azaz. Kinchit Shah has a little expensive today. And he's not bowling around the wicket, he's coming over the wicket this time. And yet another dot ball. Nepal now, they faced 4 consecutive dot balls. 5 if you count the wicket. Make that 6. The runs have dried up. Hong Kong just tightening the noose around Nepal. Once again, Arif Sheikh unable to get under that. Mid-wicket tidies up. A big shot there from Karan KC, and it looks like it's gone all the way. Nepal are going to need many, many more of those if they're to make a fist of this. Kinchit Shah once again coming in for some tap. Massive hit there from Karan KC. As we've already mentioned, you can never count the cardiac kids out. Flatter from Kinchit. Karan Casey unable to beat mid-wicket there. Even with that maximum in the over, the asking rate climbing for Nepal. And a dot to finish things off. 8 runs off the over. Hong Kong won't mind. Nepal are going to need a lot more than that. It's gotten to the stage where they need 2, maybe 3 boundaries and over to really make a fist of this. Harun Arshad coming back for his 3rd over. Hong Kong will be delighted at Harun Arshad's return so far. Nasrullah Rana played throughout the majority of the bilateral series against Malaysia, the Interport series. And that's skied up in the air. It looks like it's a chance for long off, and it's taken. So Karan KC has to walk off. Nizakat Khan with the catch there at long off. Things going really pear-shaped now for Nepal. Harun Arshad, just as we were talking him up, chips in with his 2nd wicket.
अरे 7 नम्बरमा त सन्दीप आउँछ.
From a tactical perspective, it was important for Harun Arshad to do well today. Hong Kong playing only 1 more seamer apart from him. And in the last 12 months or so, Harun Arshad has rarely ever completed his quota of 4 overs. If he went for runs today, Hong Kong would have no option, perhaps, than to bring Nasrullah Rana back. And he's been expensive himself. So things just coming together here for Hong Kong. Back of length. Eased away into the offside for a single. Not going to be enough. Not even close. What can Sandeep Lamichhane do? During MCC's tour of Nepal, tries to have a swing. There's an appeal there for stumping. The umpire's unmoved. Sandeep Lamichhane quite disappointed that he didn't make connection with that. Another catching opportunity, and it's taken. A brilliant running catch there. So Sandeep trying to break the shackles. No choice but to go for the big shot, and he holds out. Nepal now 8 down. It may sound a little defeatist, but at what point do Nepal start thinking about net run rate? With 56 now required off 21 balls. Nepal are quickly fading out of contention. It's been a tough start to the tournament for Nepal, who would have been considered one of the pre-tournament favorites. And that's pulled away. Another catching opportunity, and yet another wicket. Third wicket in the over for Harun Arshad. And he's on a hat trick now, with Nepal with just one wicket remaining. They're now 99 for 9. Harun Arshad, what a performance. What a contribution today. Ehsan Khan and Aftab Hussain also chipping in with 2 and 3 wickets respectively. A very polished performance here from Hong Kong, especially with the ball. Bouncing back from the 5-0 whitewash they suffered at the hands of Malaysia prior to this tournament. And once again, at what point do Nepal start thinking about net run rate? Do they just go for it? Or do they knock it around? In either case, their net run rate will take a huge hit after this loss. Hong Kong, on the other hand, will be looking to keep things as tight as possible. Harun Arshad now is on a hat trick, looking for his 4th wicket of the over. And he runs into Abhinash Bohara on a hat trick. Abhinash Bohara has an agricultural swing at that through the offside. 17 overs are done. No hat trick for Harun Arshad. And 100 up for Nepal. Purely trivial at this stage. Skipper Azaz Khan will be looking to finish things off. Net run rate could play a huge part in this tournament. A reminder that only 2 teams go through to the final qualifying stage for the Asia Cup. Abhinash Bohara, will he have another swing? Yes, he does. And it looks like that was dropped there by the fielder at Gully. It runs to the boundary for 4. And yes, sorry, it's a short third man over there, just holding his fingers. It did sting him. It looked like it landed just short of him. As Oz runs in once again. Avinash Bohara, like a typical tailender, backs away, gets his front leg out of the way. Unable to make any contact, really. Well, Avinash is not going down without a fight. Another swing and a miss. With a highly improbable 51 now needed off 15. Nepal will be wondering, where did things go wrong? Another swing towards the leg side. And that is over the man for 6. It looked like he may have just parried it over. Let's take a look at the replay. And yes, it looked like it was probably going over anyway. But perhaps a very important blow that for Nepal. If they could just stitch together perhaps another 15 or 20 runs. Avinash Bohara once again, just having an agricultural swing to the leg side for just a single. As I was saying, if they could stitch together perhaps another 15 or 20 runs, their net run rate won't take as much of a hit as it would if they lost their last wicket right now. As Ozkan a little frustrated with this over, no doubt. He's conceded 11. He'll be looking to close things out. And that's smashed down the ground. It does not beat mid-off, however. And that's Sushan Bari with his first runs getting off the mark. Nepal now 111 for 9 at the end of 18 overs. And it will be Harun Arshad to continue from the other end, in search of his 5th wicket. In comes Arshad. A slower ball, and it's taken by long on. Nepal all out for 111. Harun Arshad drops down on the ground, kisses the turf, thankful to a higher power as he takes his 5th wicket. His best bowling figures in T20 internationals. Potentially a man of the match performance there from Harun Arshad. The players shake hands. Nepal, unfortunately, were unable to continue their momentum after the conclusion of the power play. Hong Kong spinners, and of course Harun Arshad, were right on point. Ehsan Khan, Aftab Hussain, and Harun sharing all 10 wickets between them. Nepal will be very disappointed. Their net run rate has taken a hit, and it's do or die now.